Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the kingdom, y'all. You already know it's the king speaking to you. You stepping straight into part 22 of the Disco Elysium playthrough. And we want to continue kind of exploring the fishing village. Like I mentioned at the end of the last episode, I didn't get to explore as much as I'd like to, so we're going to really dive in this time and see what else we can find there. So, hey, we got missing people that we need to find and some things to solve, so let's get back into it. Alright, so we are back. Let's kind of keep it moving. I gotta keep an eye on the clock, too. 2100. We gotta go talk to that guy. I really would like him with me, though, when I do that. I don't remember what time he said to get him. A little black swallow circles above you. You hear it chirp. Yep, I see it. So what's all over here? I see some money up there. Oh, what's this? The water runs from the west. The source is upstream. A broken pipe? Perhaps. I don't know how to get up there. Maybe on the other side? This is kind of annoying to kind of try to get through. What's this? Oh, some money. Probably not gonna make it up that way. A little boy and his papa. Interesting. No boat in the boathouse today. This section of the coast hasn't been used in decades. Oversized superstar sunglasses. Is your own stardom too dazzling for your eyes? Can't bear to look at your own fabulous reflection in the mirror? Then these classic oversized sunglasses are for you. Damn, that is for me. I can't look at myself in my own reflection in the mirror. You know what? Just put them on. Screw it. Let's throw them on. The boathouse is shoddily constructed. A strong breeze might blow it over. Got another $1.15 real. Oh, here we go. This is how we get up. Ancient paint is peeling off the roof of this shaded bench, covered in rust.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Even more bullet holes. Something has definitely happened here.
The density and spread of these bullet holes is surprising. This takes a lot of bullets. Fully automatic rifle fire.
Why this many bullet holes?
Unable to piece together the big picture just now. There's a hole in their hypothesis.
I'm dumb.
The scattering of bullet holes looks like one giant smiling mouth, smiling its deadly smile, laughing at you and the world and the living.
Okay, great. The sign says Entree Interior de Day. An old ticket booth no longer in operation. People paid money to park here? No one would pay now. How do I get over there? Just walk across here? There we go. Some more money. And more money. Money, money, money everywhere. Fawn Peepo Peepo. What is that? +2 logic. -1 perception. The small wire framing inside the futuristic looking Fawn Peepo hat gives you the aerodynamic shape of a swoop skier's helmet, but none of its protective qualities. Covers the wearer's ears and eyebrows that bring down the drag coefficient. Oh yeah. This is better than the bum hat. Okay. What's this? The door is not only barred shut, it's inaccessible. Well, guess that's it for up here. Can't believe all these checks that I've just not managed to get going for me. Like, it's an interesting concept, but it's also frustrating because it's all the chance, right? So it's like all these things that I could be missing out on, other people could just be getting lucky and, you know, working for them. Like, has nothing to do with skill or anything. It's just, you know, you took a chance and it didn't work out. We'll talk to the boy in the papa in a second. Bars cover those long, dusty windows. Quick travel unlocked the church. Oh, cool. I'm about to say, this is a large area. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
Pick up the handset.
You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
10 cents in and dial a random number.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up.
Uh-oh.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre?
The voice is female and sounds about 100 years old. Yes, it's me, Pierre. I might be. What's Pierre like? No, this is not Pierre.
You have any news about Pierre?
Who is Pierre?
He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country.
The woman moans and the phone lines howl in unison with her. I'm not a salesman. I was just calling a random number and you somehow ran with it. Yes, I'm a salesman. What exactly did you do to your country? I don't know who I am, but who are you? No, I'm a police officer.
To hell with the police. To hell with you.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects.
Alright, well, whatever. It's a waste of 10 cents. A dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. You can imagine why. Calls become terrible sometimes. Yeah, I guess they can. The rear tire of a motor carrier adorns these reeds. Rust-eaten letters read Mazut. This is a huge area. A school of fish huddle around the fence post and scatter into the dark. Before you a drawbridge, you can only be lowered from the other side. Is this the church? This is the church. Should I go here a while, or? You feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. I'm just wandering right now, like, I still got the... Let me go back and talk to that guy and his boy. So let's go to the fisherman checks. Alright, so let's try to talk to them, the boy and the dad, because I want to stay in kind of a central area and get kind of everything done in this area before kind of moving on. I don't want to wander out too far. If I can remember where he's at. I feel like I'm going the wrong way. Am I? I'm at the damn church. Well, this is awkward. Okay, he's over this way then. Yeah, they're up here. Okay, right there. Zach?
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
Try to see inside.
Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase. There's rust and corrosion on the bars. They're foaming with it. And a small layer of white salt from the sea.
Before we talk to them, let's look at this stuff. Take some money. Another power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty. Some Nosifed. The fence blocked the path. No way on from here.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You, officer, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I was just telling my son about this building. Not many people appreciate the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Hold on. Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Cobb and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Alright, you were talking about the building. Go on.
Very important. Mikhail, say hi to the officer.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into verbs lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
He points to the building again.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why? Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
What's so fascinating about an empty old building? You look like someone who has money. Do you have any money? Great, thanks for all the interesting information.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes, springtime sun warming his handsome face. All three of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical. And Feld, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics booth.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Look at the building looming over you. Wait, what's an R&D department?
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore.
He smiles brightly, laugh lines around his eyes.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
I don't think I've ever heard of this Feld Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
He adjusts the suit
They
jacket.
started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer.
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN, and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced. What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
He pauses, pointing to the other building, then
All of
continues.
this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
You're saying the Feld Electrical built this boardwalk? What happened to the engineers, the company people? What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers? How did those tape computers work?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A wheel!
The kid looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans. Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
Turn to Mikhail. He means they all got shot in the head because they were bourgeois. Now do you know what the bourgeoisie is?
Tape computers.
He nods with tousling his suit jacket.
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser dans le Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention. Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Womty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Juice joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Okay, the Wompty Dumpty Dom Center, Paul Ackerman, Keith and Guy Juice. What are you talking about?
The Womty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Art. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
You're making this up. Turn to his son. Hey, is your dad making this all up? Come on, there is no place called the Wompty Dumpty Dom Center of Arts.
In fact, I'm not. The Womty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
Clears his throat.
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Nod. Cool. I've seen cooler things than that. The RCM should get some of those.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Wait, the felt playback experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the felt playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind.
But of course, what else? I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He brushes it off like it's not a
He's
thing at
not
all.
gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling. No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Could I have some of the unimportant money then? I don't want your money, I just wanted to see whether my profiling skills were working.
Of course, Detective, I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact,
He looks up again, a playful hint shining in his
I
eyes.
don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it? If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying?
Great, thanks for all your interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain. If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever.
Alright, well. Humpty Dumpty Dump Center. It's Wednesday evening and something heinously exciting is underway. Interesting. Alright. Well, that's that, I guess. I thought more was gonna come of that than what I actually did. Yeah, that was all kind of out there. Oh, what's going on here? Hey, this looks like a cryptozoologist if I ever seen one. Tiny cages carefully constructed.
Here we go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officer.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
He must be Morel, the cryptozoologist.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
You don't seem too happy to see the RCM. Lena sent me. She's been really worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the 881.
Yeah, that was me. I broke the water lock with my motor carriage, but it's fixed and I can go back. The water lock's been fixed. It was fine when I crossed it. Yeah, let's not tell him the whole thing.
Oh, good.
He doesn't need to know about my drunken escapades.
Gary could use a hot shower and a warm bed.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long. I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going.
He refastens a bit of netting that has come loose in the wind. Tell me about this phasmid you're looking for.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
What makes it so difficult to find?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialized techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists, in our present case.
What sorts of specialized techniques is the phasmid using to hide itself?
It's my hypothesis. that it has evolved certain electrochemical defenses that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defenses work, much less how they evolve, without studying a live specimen.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid. A ghost insect, he said? These people are looking for a ghost.
Ghost insect. So you're ghost hunters?
No, that is precisely what we're not. We are zoological specialists, looking for an extant species of phasmid.
How big is this phasmid?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
He leaves the conclusion up to you.
Seems puny, to be honest.
Why are you so interested in this stick bug? It doesn't seem to be as colorful as some of the other cryptids I've heard about.
typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of my, of any, cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defenses, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
He shakes his head. What have you discovered about it so far?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
So no one's ever found one.
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
But if no one can prove it exists, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
The cryptozoologist says brusquely enough that even he seems taken aback by it.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
What makes you think that the phasmid is here in Martinez?
There was a credible sighting here recently. A pair of teenagers described a creature that matched the Insulindian phasmid to an uncanny degree, despite not knowing what it was themselves. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Maybe the Insulindian phasmid has died out?
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Parthenogenesis?
Yes, the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
It's pretty clever. Females reproducing without males? A travesty. A crime against passion and common sense. This arouses no special feelings in me.
Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I'll try my best to remain dispassionate.
Tell me more about these traps.
Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick.
Lena designed the traps.
Yes,
How do the traps work?
simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can get back out. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton.
What are you using as bait?
Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm. A meat-eating stick insect? Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush behavior? This seems unlikely.
Carnivorous stick insect? Seems unlikely.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material in the traps to satiate your skepticism.
Not a big fan of skepticism, this one.
What will you do if these traps don't work?
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought. Yes. What?
Lena seems pretty eager for you to return.
And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
He looks south, where Lena would be.
Come on, Morel. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Won't let Lena down? Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection to the Phasmid somehow.
I didn't know the Phasmid was so important to Lena.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Really? She sighted the Phasmid?
Yes. That's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
He coughs and
Needless
continues.
to say, you must ask her about the mysterious Phasmid.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian Phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Maybe you could go back to the whirling worm and come back to check the traps later.
No. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the Phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel?
He's dead set on this.
What if I check the traps for you?
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
He looks at you with obvious surprise. Cryptozoology and detective work are very similar. Chaos is my method. I am its scion. I'm all in with this cryptid shit. I'm hooked.
Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence.
Where are these traps?
There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them,
He gestures to the trap in front of him.
you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
What do I do if there's a Phasmid in one of the traps?
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
What if I find and encounter the Phasmid in the wild?
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Lay it on me. Lay it on me. Thick. I don't want this, thank you very much.
Wise choice.
He douses you with the odd-smelling spray and then gives you a satisfied nod. I'm ready, let's get to it.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask.
Finally, you're being sensible. I'll start packing right now.
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss, you'll have time for that later too. But what if the information is vital on the hunt?
Alright. These soggy logs smell of ignition fluid, still they won't light up. So I leveled up again. Wonder if I... -1 suggestion as the outsider. Screw it, let's do the Wompty Womp just because it's funny. Yep. Yeah, so now we're looking for bugs. Check the trap at the boathouse. Alright, we gotta check all the traps. We'll get to that then.
That patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water.
Wait, I can't see anything interesting.
You don't have a reason to.
What is this about?
Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy bobbing in the water. Time to go.
A buoy bobs in the water. The number on it says 11. These heavy military blockades are riddled with bullet holes, crumbling. Gary.
Hello, I'm Gary. Very generous of you to help us out, officer. I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization.
Not a lover of the great outdoors?
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Degenerates. This man respects authority too much. To see the truth inscribed upon thine own visage. Pretend thou art a paragon of virtue.
I am neither of those things, I can assure you. I'm a by-the-books, clean as a whistle officer of the law, not even tempted to touch intoxicants. Degenerates. I've been trained to identify the slightest hint of degeneracy of the preeminent authority on it. Drunks and degenerates, that's my crew. Sadly, I think I might be a drunk or a degenerate, maybe even both. Nobody's perfect, I'm sure you've been tempted to drink. Pretend thou art a paragon of virtue.
I didn't mean it in any scientific way.
His gaze shifts nervously to the pile of soggy logs at his feet.
Serious question time. This man is no innocent. No one is.
Do you know anything about the man hanged behind the Whirling Rags Inn?
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about. Great. Great to hear someone's finally taking care of that.
So you do know something about that?
No. Nothing. He was some kind of mercenary. But everyone here knows that. I'm just glad to hear you're looking into it. That's all.
He didn't kill him or anything. But there's something going on here.
Is this your mug? Hold up the yellow man mug.
My mug? Why would you think that?
I can see you recognize it. It's in your eyes. You look like the kind of guy who might have a collection of mugs like this, home in his colonial mug collection.
I may have had a similar looking mug in the past. That's all.
Still seems suspicious. Did I mention the mug was found at the scene of the lynching? Alright, I believe you. You look like the kind of man who knows it's a crime to lie to an officer.
Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer.
He pauses. The crypto-fascist, this little racist son of a bitch.
You're not going to find me, are you?
I am. We're about to find slip for 20 real. I am 100 real. I am 250 real. Nah, Gary, I just want information.
Whew. Thank you. You won't regret this. I won't use another man's property to dump my garbage ever again. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price dumping us out of competition.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law.
How did you get into the trash container?
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services. CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez.
Why would you need to get into everyone's trash?
So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Hemians run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
Gary, did you put the clothes of a murder victim, the man who was hanged behind the whirling in rags, into that trash container?
Officer, please, let me explain. It's not like that.
Do.
I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know?
Yes, yes. What happened?
Then I came out to clean up the rags because no one else would. I put them into the whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly.
He changes his mind mid-sentence.
Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
You wouldn't know anything about the victim's missing armor, would you?
Armor? No. I mean, yes, of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about it.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing.
Let's move on for now.
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way.
He is visibly relieved it's
Don't be
over.
so relieved yet, Gary. This bad cop may have been in your apartment, admiring your mug collection. Perhaps a little intimidation?
Why is he shifting around like that? Analyze Gary's composure. Are you a cryptozoologist too?
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way.
But I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
After all this time with Morel, he must have an opinion on cryptids. This could lead to a good one.
I'm into cryptids. Do you have a favorite? Fascinating. Let's talk about something else.
Oh, yes, the burning rhino. Morel doubts he's real, but I don't much care, because I won't be the one looking for him out in Safra Serai.
What's a burning rhino?
A rhinoceros that looks ordinary during the day, but burns brightly by night. Well, at least the males do.
How do they burn?
They have special ducts just above their shoulder blades that secrete a combustible fluid. When the rhino is just beginning to light itself, it looks as though it has wings of fire.
But how is this combustible fluid lit?
How does the lighting of this fluid actually work?
The rhino starts running very fast to build heat, then stops, raises its head, and sparks fly from its neck, setting its back ablaze.
This seems unlikely. I combine to that a flaming rhino. I want to be just like that rhino running through the night with guns blazing.
Revacol used to be a flaming rhino once, a long time ago.
He says and then pauses thoughtfully.
The flames are not just for decoration. They are an integral part of the beast's mating behavior.
How so?
During the burning rhino's mating season, herds of male rhinos, all aflame, encircle herds of female rhinos, forming a fiery ring as they begin to copulate loudly. Local peasants call it the passion ring. They fear the rhinos, as perhaps they should. Anyway,
It's clear that burning rhino is dear to him on many levels, some even spiritual.
So Gary, you live nearby, in an apartment in Martinez. Point in this direction.
sure do, officer.
Have you found your door open lately? And you're a big man from Heimdall fan? Mr. Clare must be very angry with you. I think I broke into your apartment. I'm very sorry.
How?
The color drains from his face. Mr. Everett Clare thought it necessary to unlock your apartment.
Mr. Clare unlocked my apartment?
No, I did per his request.
So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. No, tell him I'll make it up to him.
What have I done? He'll send the muscle after me.
The man looks around whispering. He makes sure no one hears you talk. Really, I don't even know what it was about. I just opened the door. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he doesn't like you. Try not to shit yourself, Gary. It's just an open door. Our discussion on this topic is open, Gary.
I was probably talking too loud in the whirling the other night about some theories. Stupid. Shouldn't have run my mouth loud like that.
I won't do it again. If there's anything I can do to assist you, or the Union, just ask, okay? I'll try to help if I can.
This scared him proper. He's positively melting from fear. Has to prop himself up with a lot of anger to keep it together.
Alright, let's try this.
That shirt looks
See, look.
very uncomfortable.
40% works.
Look
80%
at the
don't work.
buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to rip out from underneath.
His massive musculature. Something worn underneath it.
Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor from
Ah,
one
you
that
son of a
makes clicking
bitch.
sound when the plates meet each other, resembling pearls or marbles, stolen from the corpse in the yard near where he lives.
I see you're a connoisseur of high-quality combat gear.
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry I didn't tell you at once. I was
He unbuttons the shirt.
ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
You see gleaming white ceramic shine underneath. A thin layer of interlocking plates covers his gaunt
We're
torso.
not detecting falsehood, sire. He's gearing up to admit the truth. This shame is surprisingly sincere.
Gary, what's going on?
Later, Morale. I've got apologizing to do.
Give me that armor, now. Why did you really put those clothes in the trash? Why'd you lie to me, Gary?
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And they scattered his clothes all over the yard. Everything was smelling.
He looks at his feet.
So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, and I had a lapse of honor, sir. I thought, he's a foreigner. They all say he wasn't from here. Only the cuirass was left, so I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No one saw me. I took it with me. It was a mistake. Had I known it'd give you guys trouble, I wouldn't have... Fuck.
We're detecting sincere contrition here, sire. He's not trying to flatter anyone.
Why did you lie to me, Gary?
Because I was weak. I should have told you the moment I saw you. But
The hell, Gary? You in trouble?
I'll explain later.
He doesn't muster up the strength to yell. Give me that armor, now.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes into view. Soon it is in your hands, smelling of his sweat.
Do you know who killed the hanged man?
I always thought it was the Union, but I sure as hell won't go around saying that anymore. You have my word. I don't know, and I won't be running my mouth on this subject anymore.
This is all he knows.
Are we done here, Gary?
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again. I won't mess with Mr. Clare either. You have my word.
Alright, thank you for your cooperation. Gary, Gary, Gary. Just when we thought. This Vitreous enamel cuirass fits snugly and redistributes kinetic energy across its countless white plates. Amazingly, it fits under your coat. It also makes pretty porcelain sounds when shaken. Oh yeah, we're rocking that. Best believe. Okay, so... Man, so many things we can try here. But a lot of them are impossible or rough. Okay. Cool.
The white ceramic cuirass hugs your torso, shielding your vitals without adding much bulk to your form.
I will be responsible for this. This is just to protect me from harm, not to show off. Take down future armor like a cop ought to be.
The hardened vitreous enamel, at once sleek and light, adds a glow to your cheeks and a spring to your step. Just imagine what a full suit of this stuff could do for you.
One down, two pieces to go. Here I come.
Are you sure you're correct there? There was a helmet too. 3 pieces more like. You were ambitious.
Yeah, I want the full
It may
suit.
be a while before you have all the pieces. In the meantime, you should analyze the armor. Figure out its vulnerabilities.
Vulnerabilities.
Remember, this is a highly specialized kinetic redistributor meant to stop bullets. Wear it. Observe its properties. See if there's a weakness in the design. For the day you have to fight someone covered in the same material.
Okay. And there's so many thoughts. Holy crap, there's so many thoughts. I've discovered like 6. Alright, so I think we are going to wrap this video up right here. I think the best thing to do is to go back and let Lena know that Morel is on his... It was just a trap.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh, same wiring. Behind you, a ruined residential building looms over the reeds, shielding them from the wind. They rustle confidentially, in tune with the pitter-patter of the rain. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to probably next time go back, let Lena know that what's his name is Morel is coming home or coming back, and we'll go from there. It's also getting towards that 2100, so I'm sure Kim will probably join us soon, and we can talk to the guy in the apartment. We need to talk to him. So if you like the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and if you haven't already, make sure that you are subscribed and you join the kingdom. So until we get back into episode, we're auto saving until we get back into part 23, y'all. I'll see you then. Peace.